Back in early 2012, Masahiro Sakurai was game planning the next Super Smash Bros. Game on Nintendo's hot, sure-to-be-hit console. While he was planning out the characters, the stages, the core aspects of the game that would be changed from Brawl, he included a very unique game mode, something that any Smash fan could get behind the idea of. It almost seemed too good to be true. In Sakurai's initial business proposal for Smash Wii U and 3DS, there it was, custom moves, where the base special moves for each character would be changed with a new variation. This, however, made it into the final version of Smash 4, but it wouldn't return in the sequel Smash Ultimate. Yeah, everyone is here, but not custom moves, unfortunately. It's crazy to imagine that at some point in time, custom moves were allowed in Smash 4. In fact, way back in the day, during Smash 4's custom moves were even allowed in tournament, and they were something else indeed. Custom moves range from absolutely terrible to beyond broken joke moves. In fact, because of how incredible some of these moves ended up being, custom moves ended up being banned in Smash 4. Yes, the game where Bayonetta made the meta her own little playground when she became playable, and yet custom moves were seen as so broken they were busted for Smash 4 of all games. Fun fact, I bet you, yes, you watching, probably never even used all the custom moves in-game, because they straight up are difficult to unlock and take so much time to get 100% of all the custom moves. So if you wanted to play Smash 4 with custom moves on, you had to essentially do endless amounts of hours of grinding in order to get everything. In fact, the quote-unquote fastest way to unlock every single custom move, yes, I looked up a guide on GameFAQs, it says to buy a $15 turbo controller and essentially mash A in target test mode for hours on end. Do you really want to do that with your life? No. Most people like myself probably are just going to use cheat codes to do the heavy lifting for you. You are going to want to stay tuned, as some of these moves are so incredible. Most people would say if we lived in a world where custom moves were a tournament standard, the game would be a completely different meta. They're going to be worth the watch, so stay tuned to see these iconic changes. First off, getting this out the way, Smash 4 is known for its rather interesting DLC because many of them were very good characters. Well, in actuality, there is no custom moves for any of the DLC characters, of course, unless you hack the game. This actually is interesting as it means characters like Bayonetta and Corrin, some of the best DLC characters, didn't get any custom moves at all. What's interesting about these custom moves is, and this is just me being honest, some of them are just better than others. Like Palutena essentially got the custom moves that were so good it completely overshadowed her stock moveset, to the point where even Explosive Flame became part of her regular moveset. In fact, Palutena's custom moves are an exception here, as her custom moves are the only custom moves in the game aside from one other character that are completely unique moves. It's hard to almost play stock Smash 4 Palutena without Explosive Flame. It's such an iconic move and a big part of her moveset in Smash Ultimate, I almost can't imagine her in competitive play without it. And this shows a huge point about custom moves in Smash 4. Some are super unique and interesting ideas, while some are completely forgettable and cookie cutter, which slides into the main problem with custom moves. In fact, you're not hearing this from me, you're hearing this from Sakurai himself, who even talked about this in an interview how difficult it was to balance custom moves, saying that Palutena was one of the hardest characters to balance because her custom moves were completely unique from her other moves. I personally don't know why he even went this direction with her. Toon Link, for example, he has a side special variant that's simply just a floating boomerang, which is just a boomerang but slow boomerang. Cool. This goes to show that some custom moves just fall into the forgettable camp. What if we made Marth's side special but slower? Check. What if we took Rob's up special and made it faster? Cool. While some characters like Mega Man, who I alluded to this earlier, his moveset is also another one of the examples where his custom moves are actually very unique and some of the most interesting custom moves in the game. These special moves pay respects to Mega Man's power-ups that aren't already a part of his moveset. And this is peak custom move ideas. These moves all have different models representing each special move. Instead of Metal Blade, you get Hyper Bomb and Shadow Blade. Instead of Crash Bomber, you get Ice Slasher and Danger Warp. Rush Coil, you get Tornado Hold or Beat. And instead of Leaf Shield, you get Skull Barrier and Plant Barrier. These custom moves are so good compared to, I don't know, Marth's. It just goes to show the amount of effort that went into some characters and not other characters. Now, I do understand why a lot of characters have really simple custom moves. It's hard to think of a unique move for every single character in every single slot. If you put the same amount of effort in, let's say, Palutena's custom moves on every single character in the cast, you would probably add way too much development time. So I completely understand understand why they took some shortcuts. It's just weird how some characters got more love than others. A lot of custom moves have material that also ended up on the cutting room floor, and you can only access them if you decide to hack the game. Mewtwo's are so buggy and are barely usable, by the way, and also for some reason they gave him a proto version of Bayonetta's Witch Time as one of his custom moves. Yes, this is actually a thing. Maybe we should be happy this didn't make it into the final game. Or the fact there was a lost third custom move variant that was probably cut because of time constraints, and you can see this in the business proposal in Smash 4. It's very apparent the idea was pretty ambitious indeed. Here's another great example of a custom move. Let's go to Luigi's neutral specials. Luigi's first custom neutral special is a bouncing fireball. How neat. The next one is a reference to the ice power-up from Super Mario. Now, not only is this idea pulling straight from the Mario games, but this move's utility is actually decent in-game as it freezes the opponent, which surprised me as I wasn't even expecting it to do that. So this move references its own material, it's a great idea, and its utility is unique. This one is great, I love this idea. Now I know what you're thinking, since there's 2 or 3 if you count their OG special moves for every character in the game, it's going to be impossible to talk about the potential usage of every single custom move, especially when their usage was only at a handful of tournaments that allowed custom moves. If some of these custom moves were legal and allowed in official tournaments, some characters would actually be much better. Like Donkey Kong, for example. Donkey Kong's Storm Punch, while essentially it is a weak punch, but there's a giant gust of wind hitbox that does this. Or even this one. Arguably one of the best custom moves in the game is Chopper Kong for Donkey Kong's Up special. Just kidding, I pulled a fast one on you there. It's Kong Cyclone. This move, as its description states, it sucks opponents in as you spin and then it launches them with a single punch. What could go wrong, right? I mean, how could this be broken for Donkey Kong? Kong Cyclone is super fast and it auto-cancels super quickly. The move sucks opponents inside its hits and you can essentially just spam this bad boy over and over and over and rinse and repeat. But this type of utility is just not available for the stock version of Up Special. So now you have to deal with this move that's now a combo tool and a neutral tool. You can run away with it, you can get center stage with it. If your opponent comes near you, it's going to be a bad day for them. It's interesting to note that a lot of these custom moves even reference special moves for characters who didn't make it into Smash 4. Toon Link has Young Link's fire arrows, Fox has Wolf's blaster, Ness has Lucas's special moves. For those who don't remember, Lucas came later as a DLC character. And if you hated tripping and brawl, this next one is going to be a real treat. For some reason, this character got a lot of busted custom moves. It's Villager. Villager's sapling on paper, you probably are thinking what could go wrong. It's just a tree, right? There's no hitboxes on the stock version, and you shouldn't be afraid of it, right? Oh, this is Timber Counter, aka Trip Sapling. If any character walks near the tree, they will trip, and this means you can immediately punish them. This makes this move into a pseudo trap mechanic, as if you stand anywhere near the move, you're going to get hit. And if you try to jump away and use the sky to evade Villager, there's actual other custom moves that can come in and cover this option, like Extreme Balloon Trip, where if you come close to Villager in the air, his balloons will explode, and yeah, this move can kill as early as 60%. It's just why. These special moves put together are really good. If custom moves were allowed, Villager would be getting a huge buff. In the past, Ganondorf's Wizard Foot has always been seen as a cheap knockoff of Captain Falcon's Falcon Kick, but here's Wizard Drop Kick and Wizard Assault. Both of these moves are leagues better than the base version, where Ganondorf is kicking at a different angle for each move. It's clear the better version is Wizard Drop Kick, as you can jump out of the move and extend combos with it and recover. And just wow, this move should just be part of Ganon's actual moveset. It's a great way to differentiate him from Captain Falcon. Continuing on the Ganondorf train, these Up Specials are incredible ideas as they go much higher than the stock version of Up Special. Their animation has darkness effects on them that makes them really feel more original, and they fit Ganon's King of Evil aesthetic. You could honestly make an hour-long analysis on every single move and their utility. It just shows how unexplored a lot of these custom moves are, because people struggled with wondering if these moves are meant to be balanced or they're just simply there for fun. Like Luigi's down special, when matched, gives you one of the best recovery tools in the game. Gee, I wonder why they call this Mash Cyclone. Never mind. Shulk gets a down special called Power Vision that gives Corrin's broken down special a run for its money. Kirby's Inhale actually becomes a okay. King Dedede's down special custom actually can make him an immovable tank. Pikachu already has a good neutral B, but now he has one that can stun people in place. I'm sure this one won't be spammed. No, I'm kidding, you already know. But in my opinion, these moves were already meant to be considered their own fun game mode, which is why you physically have to turn them on within the game on the character select screen, and it changes to blue to show you, hey, this is a different experience than the base game. People have tried to run tournaments with custom moves on, but it's almost hard to try and balance it because there's so many different possibilities as far as what special moves are going to be seen, and if you ban one special move, it's just going to be people wanting to ban the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one. You get the point. As time went on, people didn't like how long it generally takes to unlock every single custom move that's in the game, and the fact that they sometimes vary in quality and even competitive viability, it led to people just writing off the whole game mode and just letting it be its own thing. As Smash 4 with custom moves on is an entirely different game. It's a shame custom moves didn't make it into Smash Ultimate, but I completely understand. As I'm sure Sakurai realized, they add a lot of development time, and if you want to make them memorable and interesting, only a small percentage of players actually even got to unlock all of them, so what's even the point? Especially when you can just simply work on balancing the actual roster instead of what almost feels like a completely different game within a game. Thank you guys for watching the video. If you guys want early videos, there's a Patreon down below. Thank you to my Patreon subscribers. Also, if you want exclusive content that is not released on the channel, check out Medify down below. There's 30 minutes of content on Medify. You guys should check that out. I appreciate the support in any way. This stuff helps me pay my rent, so thank you guys for supporting the channel. Peace.